Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to Ask This Old House. Today, we are going to be talking about baseboard radiators. Now, you know, over the years, these can get pretty banged up and start to look shabby. So Richard is going to show us a very simple solution to dress these up. But before Richard shows us how to dress up radiators, Tommy is going to show us how to dress up a fireplace.
Tommy, I moved in here about 18 months ago.
Well, it's in great shape. Did you do much work?
I did. I put the crown molding in, I sanded out all the trim, reprimed it, painted it.
That's a lot of work, isn't it?
It was.
Well, the walls are great. Did you do those too?
I did. I repatched them, primed them, and painted them.
I like the color scheme. It's really nice.
Thanks. Then I was onto the floors after that.
Wood floors, my favorite. This is red oak. It's nice and rich and warm looking, and they're in great shape.
Thanks.
But I'm here to help you with the fireplace.
Fireplace, it's outdated, the brick is old, the mortar joints are ugly, the mantle itself has never been attached.
Nice and loose. That came off nice.
Oh, yeah. So after that, I went online to a millwork distributor, sent them a bunch of pictures with the dimensions of the openings, and they sent me the mantle in 3 pieces. It came first with this fluted pilaster.
Oh, that's a nice look. It even came painted. It's going to match your woodwork great.
Yeah, it's going to match all the woodwork in the house.
And here's the mantle right here, the new mantle. This is really going to dress it up a lot, though. It's going to be really nice. Nice white wood mantle. It's going to be great.
Can't wait for it to go in. Also have the hearth to deal with, Tommy. The tile is outdated, the grout's all dirty, it's got a really dingy look. So I'm thinking a nice piece of polished granite will look great down here.
Yeah, we got one nice big piece that will go right in here.
Also, around the surround of the firebox, it'll hide all the brick.
Up and around and down. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to give it a whole new look. We got a lot of work. Let's get started by removing this brick.
Sounds good.
All right, now the top 4 courses of the fireplace, the brick are actually stepped out on the face and out on each end. That's called corbelling. Now what we want is we want the pilaster to fit tighter to the brick. To do that, we're going to remove the top 4 courses of brick. We're going to use a cold chisel and a masonry hammer. Hit right in the joint, and the brick should pop out. Now go right underneath it, Bill. Pop right up. There you go. All right, continue on right underneath, pop them right up. Go underneath, Bill, it'll be easier. Now work your way down a little bit. That's right. Now do one in the joint. I'm going to go back. There you go. Now we'll pop right up. All right, let's get to the next one now. Now remember, hold that level. Don't hit up on the brick. Go in like that, and this chisel will actually act like a wedge and push it up.
Gotcha.
Hit it hard. Move down. Now go back to the beginning again. And hit it again. That's, now, there you go. See, it's coming right up. Perfect. All right, I'll take that. Let's get the next one. Move down. I think you get the hang of it now.
That's the last brick, Tommy.
Last one? Okay. Now let's see what we got. All the cobbles are gone. Let's see, we got a pilaster. We'll sit tighter to the face of the brick. That's really going to be nice. All right, let's get started on removing the tile from the hearth. Now to remove the tile, I'm going to use a cold chisel and a hammer again. And because the hearth is proud of the floor, I might be able to get right under that tile using the cold chisel, and hopefully it'll pop right up. All right, good. Now let me have that hammer and chisel. I want to try taking out this mortar bed right here that the tile was set on, and hopefully that'll come up easy too. It's really coming up a lot easier than I thought it would go, which is always nice. With our old mortar bed removed, it's now time to think about the new mortar bed that's going to support our new granite hearth. Let me show you what it's going to look like. All right, we drop it in here and right on top of the floor, and it brings it flush with the firebox floor.
I like how it sits 3/4 inches proud here on the front against the floor.
Yeah, that's a nice look. Now we have to worry about building code issues and fire. All right, now the pilaster is made out of wood. That needs to be a certain distance from the fireplace opening. On the side, we're going to make it 8 inches. Across the top, we're going to make it 12 inches. Now the other thing that we have to deal with is bringing this pilaster tight to the wall. I have to cut out a piece of baseboard so that I can slide it in. But you really have another problem that has to get taken care of. We need to get an electrician here to move this outlet somewhere else. Next thing I would have to do is either patch the hole of the receptacle or put a new piece of baseboard in. There. The mortar that we're going to use is the mortar and sand mix with a little bit of water. We want to keep it dry. That's good. We want to keep it right close to the brick. What I'm doing is I'm just pushing this mix right up against the face of the brick with my steel float here, and I want it to be stiff so that it doesn't flow. We don't want it to flow. I know that our hearth is about 3/4 to an inch thick, so I want to keep this mortar right here on the face of the brick about a 3/4 of an inch lower, and I'll set it in a second as soon as I get it across here. Okay. A little more. Okay. What I've done is I've made up a gauge block that will tell me the height of the mortar in relationship to the floor of the firebox. I've cut the thickness of the gauge block about a 1/16 of an inch thicker than the granite for the hearth. When you set the new hearth on top of the dried mortar bed, you're going to be using about a 1/16 of an inch of masonry adhesive. That extra 1/16 of an inch will allow for that adhesive. I'm working the mortar back and forth to take any bubbles out or any voids. But I also want to make sure that the outside edge is flush with the floor right here. All right, Bill, the mortar bed is in. It's going to take a couple of days for it to dry. Then I want you to take this adhesive right here and set the granite hearth. Use the same adhesive to set the piece of granite that's going to run up the sides also. And you got a big piece of granite that's going across the top of the header. You can set that also. It's really going to look good. And don't forget, you have to get the electrician to move this plug right here onto this wall and cut this piece of baseboard on this side out and that one on that side. Think you can handle that?
I think so.
All right, then I'll come back and we'll get this mantle all set.
Sounds great. Over the years, the fireplace has gotten many years of use. The brick's all discolored. I want to give it a nice consistent look with this high temperature paint. Instead of spreading adhesive all over the hearth, I'm going to put a few silver dollar sized dabs of the adhesive right here on the hearth. That's not going anywhere. Gonna use these clamps to hold it in place until the adhesive sets up.
Hey, Bill, how'd you make out?
You tell me.
Hey, it looks good. I love the fact that you painted the inside of the firebox. How'd that go for you?
Oh, that was nasty. That high temperature paint, the odor, it was horrible.
Yeah, that stuff really stinks, but what a difference, huh?
Looks great.
And the granite, that looks good. Now, these two side pieces had to be cut. Any problems?
No problems. Put them in the wet saw with the diamond blade. They cut right up.
Well, you did a good job. Now, the hearth, that comes as a rectangle. We gave him the size. You got it all down. Looks good. And we actually need 2 little returns, or ears, put on each side. Now, they wouldn't ship it with those little ears because 9 times out of 10, they would have broken off. So I asked you to cut a couple of small pieces to fit in. How'd you do?
Pretty good. I cut it from the scrap left over from the side pieces.
All right, let's see how it fits. Nice job. Fits good. All right, let's get started by gluing those in.
Sounds good.
Now, to glue the block in place, I'm going to use some construction adhesive. Put it right on top of this filler block here. Using my level as a straight edge against the end of the hearth, I push my block against it. Lines it right up. You want to do yours, Bill?
Let's do it.
All right, here's the adhesive. Now remember, there was an outlet on each side of the fireplace opening, and both outlets were in the baseboard. The electrician came and removed the outlets. We removed the baseboard. I have a new piece of baseboard cut square on each end. And now I have to put this new piece of baseboard in behind the old piece of baseboard because it's a 45-degree cut, and this is meant to slide behind it. Now I had to remove the baseboard cap so I can slide this down. Also, there's some plaster missing, and that I have to add back because it's a filler to keep the baseboard against this floor. Now for a filler, I'm actually just going to use some foam. Now I'm ready for the baseboard. All right, now I'm just going to nail this in place. Now we're ready to assemble the mantle. Now the top of the mantle will attach to these two pilasters with a cam system. There we go. All right. Now all we have to do is tighten the two cams. All right, let's see how it fits. Okay, how's it look over there?
Looks good.
All right, now let's mark the outside.
What do you want me to mark this, Tommy?
Just mark from the top of the baseboard up about 6 or 8 inches. Good. All right, now I want to mark across the top. Now we have to think about attaching the mantle to the wall. And here's the line we drew down the side of the pilaster. I want to attach a cleat to the wall, but I want to keep it in 3/4 of an inch to allow for the thickness of the pilaster. We'll screw our cleats to the wall and nail the mantle to our cleats. All right. All tight?
All tight.
Okay, now we're ready to install this. All right, bring it in right beside the cleats.
I'm in.
Okay, get mine in. Here we go. All right, Bill, you see these two marks on the wall right here? Well, they represent the end of the cleat. So you're going to nail inside these two lines with 2 nails.
Okay.
Come out about 1 inch and toenail it slightly. Okay, down here, a couple more marks. Okay, now we're going to do down the side. So we have from this mark down and the baseboard up. Now the last thing we have to do is go around the perimeter of this opening right here with this beaded detail. It's going to do 2 things. It's going to fill this gap right here and this gap right here, and it's also going to dress up the edge. So I'm going to place it, and all you got to do is tack it in place, Bill. Right there.
Tommy, this looks great.
It looks fantastic, doesn't it?
Oh, it looks so much better than that red ugly brick that was here. Thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you.
It was my pleasure.
Tommy, that was a terrific transformation, and the homeowner, he did a ton of work.
Bill did a lot of work. He did a great job.
So how much did that cost?
Well, that was a semi-custom unit. So the wooden part around the opening, none of the stone, that was $700.
Wow.
But there are other options. You could go to a salvage yard, for example, and there's a lot of old mantles around that you could pick out.
Yep.
But when you do that, you got to remember, you got a lot of work cut out for you. You've got to strip all of this, sand it, and stain it.
And then you've got to find yourself a mantle that fits your firebox.
Right, and that could be the difficult part. You want to make sure that the combustible material is the correct distance away from the fireplace opening, both on the sides and the top, so you want to check your local code.
Okay, so the salvage yard is one option, and then the home center is another option because I know they've got some kits on their shelves.
Right, and here's a kit right here. Comes in pieces. You put it together. There's a pilaster right here that you can dress up, starting with a plinth block on the bottom. And you can get a fluted post right here, another post on the top.
Gotcha.
Drop the mantle on, and even around the opening right here, the molding already comes coped, so there's no mitering involved.
Now, this is not a custom piece, but is there any way that you can modify its size? Can you make it shorter or narrower?
Absolutely. You can cut some off of the pilaster, making it shorter. You could cut a little bit out of the breastwork on the top here, but you don't want to cut too much because you don't want this overhang to look out of place.
Gotcha. So a little bit of play here and there. Right. And what does something like this cost?
This is $200 off the shelf.
All right,
bad.
so a cheaper option.
Yeah.
Great. Good information, Tommy. Thank you.
My pleasure.
right, guys, greatest what is it ever. Green on the bottom, white in the middle, has these little flappy things on the end.
Yeah.
And if you push this button, it lights up green. What is it?
I can't believe you have this. I actually have one of these in my house. You know how much I like to cook.
You?
Well, this
In
is
the kitchen?
Yeah, this has freed up my utensil drawer. Unbelievable. I got rid of a lot of stuff I don't need. I keep this on the counter because it looks good, right?
Yeah, it does. What's it do, Tom?
Well, suppose you want to make some eggs. You ever fry up an egg? You're just going to whip it up like that?
It's called scramble, Tommy.
Oh, well, this here is like you're whipping up stuff for the topping.
A whisk?
And then you cooking meat. You want to find out the temperature. It tells you the temperature.
Yeah.
And this little button right here, Roger, tried to trick me. That's actually a recorder. So I can record my recipes. I just haven't figured out how I can get it back.
Okay, Julian. I think there's a lot of people in your household going hungry.
Does it look like I'm going hungry?
Bloated's more the word there. I'm not sure if you guys know how tough it is out there in the world of dating now that the internet's here.
We're a little out of the loop.
You guys have heard of the internet, though, right?
Yeah, for a while.
Well, let's say let's say you're in a relationship, okay? And, it's kind of going okay, but you're not really sure. So you've gone to coffee, but you haven't gone to dinner yet, and you really want to know.
Yeah.
Well, this can help you know for sure.
How so?
Well, it's a flower, right? And so you give it to her on Valentine's Day, but this flower has got a little tiny camera and a little tiny recording device. Huh?
For the voyeur and all this.
This way, you can tell her you love her, even if you don't trust her.
Yeah.
No.
You're a big head, I bet.
All right. You guys know I love to garden, and I love flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like he likes to cook.
But there's some issues. There is some issues. Where do you plant it? You have to put it in the dirt.
Ooh.
You can add water, temperature, light.
Yeah.
Right? Then you plant it, and you got to wait for it. Man, who's got the time for this?
Yeah, you really love gardening.
This thing, you plant this baby, it looks great all the time. Every night it closes up. In the morning it opens up, changes colors, and right here, little sniffy, little lilac.
That's about the only part you need.
The air freshener? Wow.
Guys, you were all close, except for you two. Okay?
We were all close.
No, this goes in the garden, like Richard said, but it goes in an area that you're designing and you're not sure what to plant. Goes into the ground, and through this sensor on the top, it records temperature, light, humidity, and even how the soil drains.
Really?
You leave it there for 24 hours. Now you take it apart.
Oh, you didn't tell us about
And
that.
plug it into the USB port, and then in conjunction with this website that has 5,000 plants, using the data it recorded, it'll give you a group of plants that will do perfectly well in your conditions.
Nice. So do I take her to dinner or not?
Give her the real flowers, will you?
Richard, the mailbag is full of letters from people looking to update their baseboard, but obviously you already knew that.
I read the letters too. Baseboard's been around since the late 40s, early 50s. It really became the very popular way to heat a house in cold climates. Now, it's a perimeter style of heat. The baseboard mounts on the outside wall, and heated water goes right around, so it's very comfortable. Cool air in the room drops to the bottom of the floor, and it gets pulled up through a heating element, which sits right back here. At the top, there's a damper that you can open and close to affect how much heat comes out.
Gotcha.
Now, to heat the air, let me pull this cover. You can see boiler water is pumped through this copper pipe. And you see these aluminum fins right here. The cool air is drawn up through those fins, and the heated air comes out through the top.
And that's where the damper comes into play. You shut it down to reduce the heat or open it wide open to warm up the room.
That's right. But you also have to be sure to keep these fins clear. You want to make sure there's no pet hair that collects on the bottom of the top to impede airflow up through.
So you can pop the cover off and you can vacuum away all the pet hair or dust bunnies. But what people are really writing us about are what do you do when the face of this gets dinged up? It gets hit by the vacuum cleaner or the kids. Maybe the top is pitted and a little bit rusty.
I tell you, we've seen them so beaten up. If it's just pit corrosion, you can try to paint it and try to bring it back. But oftentimes what we do is we replace the cover. Now the element's going to stay right here, and they actually sell this. This is called a dummy, and it has no heating element inside of it.
Okay.
So now if I was going to replace this piece, I'd have to get this back plate off of the wall. So it means removing all the screws. If there are nails, I may have to take a reciprocating saw and come in behind this back plate. I want to be careful not to scratch the wall.
Right.
Now remember, this element is still connected.
It's attached to the rest of the plumbing,
That's
so it's
right.
not really going anywhere.
That's right. So then you have to figure out how to get this back plate out and also this carrier right here. You may have to wiggle this out here and then bring it out the side.
And a few years ago, you did just that for a homeowner. You got it out, but it was a little fussy.
Absolutely. Well, this is actually a new product that might make this project a lot easier. It's a piece of stamped metal. You can see the holes right here in the front, painted white. You see the return bend right there. And that can clip right over the existing back plate. You don't have to change it all out.
Look at that.
It covers it up nicely, a couple of end caps to dress it up.
Yep.
And it's a modern look.
All right, well, it's good to know that there's an alternative out there, Richard. Thank you.
All right.
So until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor.
I'm Rich Ferthuey.
For Ask This Old House. So technically the difference between dust bunny and pet hair, could a dust bunny be pet hair?
Yeah.
If you have a question about your house or a tip you'd like to share, please let us know. Visit our website, pbs.org, for expert advice, step-by-step videos, and much more.